Okay, hi, welcome back to the video. I'm going to be looking at another part of Kenny Veach, taking a step back from the M Cave, like how I did with Kenny's playlist in the past, looking back, kind of like how I did when looking at Kenny and his final last known location. This will be looking at a link I found between Kenny's Facebook page, one of his posts, and how it links to his hidden playlist. I specifically choose the word hidden and not missing because now know what happened to it. If you don't know, or you start searching Kenny's channel to have a look yourself and you can't find anything, top corner of the screen there will be an icon symbol suggesting the video of what happened to the playlist and explaining that, so there's no confusion there. Now, in terms of this hidden playlist, some of the contents within it kind of raised a few questions, which I'll show you very shortly. But with looking on Kenny's Facebook page, which I couldn't do beforehand because I don't have an account and I don't really want to create another account. Had one in the past, deleted it. I don't want another account on Facebook. But thanks to Artari, I'll credit down below or wherever, they showed video clip of them scrolling through Kenny's profile, all the pictures and all the posts he's posted and shared on his profile. And as I was looking through it, the most part of it doesn't really look strange. But at times when I look at language, certain words used, certain keywords pop up and are highlighted in my mind. And I feel some of them do link onto Kenny's playlist. So we'll get into it now. So to get straight to the point, here is a screenshot of the contents that were in Kenny's liked playlist. For example, how to not go crazy during your awakening, returning to source, as well as two more, God's prophet and spiritual science. Now, the reason why these videos raised question and maybe suspicion is what connection, what link did it have to Kenny on a personal level? The reason why we question that is because in Kenny's videos on his YouTube channel, in all the videos he's posted, he doesn't really make any reference to this sort of material, this spiritual awakening, spirituality. He doesn't really mention any of that. He talks about how he's creative and he likes telling stories through items he's collected, and he likes going on adventures and hiking and all that kind of stuff. But he doesn't talk about bits of advice, things he's learned, what he's become, etc. Whereas someone like Liberia Sean, who does hiking, who is also, and has in the past, tried looking for Kenny, has came up front and said he's into this spiritual awakening and all of that, and he's posted videos himself and bits of advice and information along the way. Whereas Kenny, his link to this sort of content hasn't been shared. So the question is, what link does it really have, and is there really any evidence that leans towards Kenny being really into this sort of stuff? Now, I'll just show you one clip which basically sums up Sean's opinion. And
a guy named Bernard Alvarez, who coincidentally has very similar material on his channel that I plan to be putting out myself. And a lot of what his message and channel's about is awakening, you know, going through that spiritual awakening and the transformation and returning to source. And I'd highly recommend you guys going to his channel, checking out some of the stuff there. I definitely support his message he's giving, I think, just from what I've seen, he seems like a really awesome guy.
So the first piece of evidence which demonstrates Kenny showing an interest into this sort of stuff is this comment he left on How to Not Go Crazy During Your Awakening. As it reads, he left a comment saying, "Just discovered you, Bernard. I'm curious what your tribal background is. Out here in the West, I know of tribes. You could be a Comanche warrior. I'm going to look around on YouTube to see if I can find out." So, although it doesn't reveal really much in the comment, it shows Kenny does have some kind of interest in this sort of topic, this sort of stuff, because he's engaging with the video. He's asking questions and whatnot. But I did find a stronger piece of evidence which does link to his liked playlist, which I'll show you right now. So this was the key piece of evidence which I found, which seems to reinforce and link to Kenny's liked playlist and his interest. One key detail to take into account is this is Kenny Veach's Facebook profile, and this was posted August 23rd, 2011. So that's to take into mind. It reads, "In my opinion, I don't believe that there is something wrong with anyone, even in the seemingly worst case scenario. I think that every spirit which has manifested in human form on this here beautiful planet we all get to play on, has done so, so that they may experience anything and everything that they are not. The reason for this manifesting is so that we have something to compare our true perfect forms to." So that's what Kenny posted at the time, 2011. I think from the highlighted lines and words, as you can see on the screen, for example, manifested in human form, something to compare our true perfect forms to, and I think that every spirit, those sort of lines and words seem to be keywords which link to spirituality, and basically that liked playlist of the likes of Returning to Source, How to Not Go Crazy During Your Awakening, and Spiritual Science. So that's the way I see it. Now, I'm not into any of that. I don't bother with any of that, so I'm not going to know the true meaning of this post. But if I had to make some kind of guess, if we look at it from the top, Kenny states, "I don't believe that there is something wrong with anyone." What does Kenny mean by that line? Is he talking in third person? Is he secretly referencing himself, that he believes there is nothing wrong with him? Or is he just simply stating it in general towards how he feels towards other people? Does Kenny mean it internally or externally? Is he hinting at that no one has a mental illness and that everyone is perfectly functioning? Is that what he's trying to get at? Seems a little odd. The next key line, where he states and says, "Spirit which has manifested in human form on this beautiful planet we all get to play on." So I don't know what he's really getting at in terms of the spirit which has manifested in human form. As something becomes something, spirit, human form, becoming a human, turning into a human, being born, I don't know. But where he does say, "beautiful planet we all get to play on," Kenny seems to be positive towards life. It's good to be alive. You get to play on the planet, you get to do what you want, or you get to participate in stuff. And for Kenny, at least, he could hike, he could explore, he could collect and be creative. Maybe that's what he's referencing. So that he's grateful to be alive. He thinks life is sacred. Is that what he means? Because if that's what he means, then that's kind of hinting that Surely he can't be suicidal, or surely he couldn't have committed suicide if he thought life was good, or if he thought the planet was beautiful and you get to play on it. If you get to play on it, then why would you commit suicide? Why would you go against that? So that's one thing to take in mind. And then the final thing is where it says something to compare our true perfect forms to. So I don't know what that really means. You know, is it to do with some kind of invisible shield or barrier which you can see your true potential max, but you can't quite become it, but you use it to fuel yourself to get stuff done and achieve stuff and maybe become it, rise to a higher level, evolve, ascending, awakening, evolving. Is that what he's trying to get at? Maybe. But I think regardless, this definitely, in terms of the language used, the way he's worded it, some keywords like spirit, definitely seems like it links to him being involved with the Liked playlist and him feeling something towards it. Now, linking back to that key point I made a bit earlier on, posted 2011. Kenny disappeared in 2014. So there is, you know, a break in between in which factors and events may have occurred which changed him. So that is to take in consideration. But I do have a counter argument which I'll show shortly. But if we get on and we get back to Sharon's comment. Okay, so a small thing I just wanted to drop into the video was this comment, which is left by Sharon, Kenny's ex-girlfriend, on the MK video. This is a piece of it from the long paragraph. As it says, he battled depression for many years. Now the question is, what does that really mean? Many years. How long? Doesn't really exactly say. But if we're basing it from what Kenny posted on his Facebook page in 2011, up to his disappearance, what point did the depression play a part? Or was it before that and it continued throughout? Did the spiritual awakening link to the depression? Did this How to Not Go Crazy During Your Awakening video have any link either? I don't know, but I just wanted to add it in. Is there some kind of cross conflict intertwining with one another which sets one thing off, or was the spiritual awakening and enlightenment used to try and cope with this supposed mental illness, what he supposedly had? You get what I'm trying to say? Who knows? Just wanted to throw it in. Now, let's move on to the key important fact. So as we know, Kenny left that post in 2011. And you could argue, well, it was back then. He disappeared in 2014. So maybe many things could have happened in between, which caused him to become suicidal or something bad happen. But if we look at the video Kenny left a comment on and the video Kenny added to his playlist, How to Not Go Crazy During Your Awakening, his last video he added to his playlist, it clearly says the video was uploaded the 26th of June 2014. So it clearly shows that Kenny was already into the spiritual stuff back in 2011. 3 years before disappearing, he was into the spiritual stuff. And as time went on, maybe he evolved, got deeper into it. So this is the key thing. This is 2014, the 26th of June. So that's interesting, that, I think. I guess the question is, though, aside from, it seems like we've cleared this up, I guess, reinforcing that there is a link and there is evidence and there is comments left by Kenny and post which lean towards him being interested in this sort of stuff but not sharing it publicly enough on YouTube. Was this video, well, his final video he added before something happened internally? I don't know. I just wanted to make this video just to clear something up, to use evidence and show that his playlist, what you could see at least at the time, there is some link to him being interested and participating in that sort of stuff. The question is, though, Was that interest a healthy thing, or was it an obsession? Was it used to combat supposedly his mental illness, or did it set off his mental illness, or did it make it worse? Or was this all done or caused by him hiking and stuff? Because Liberia Sean himself said he got interested in the spiritual stuff and all this awakening and everything when he started exploring. Does the environment have some kind of effect on energy levels? I don't know. But the key point of this video is simply clearing things up, demonstrating links between one another. It seems very clear now, from when you add it all together, piece it together, that Kenny was interested in this sort of stuff, and it now makes sense to why he had that playlist. The question there is, did the playlist have a positive effect on him or a negative effect? Did it lead to suicide, or was it just a simple interest? Because if it's a simple interest, if you think about it, if it was a positive interest, a positive thing he was engaging in, and like how he referenced this beautiful planet we get to play on, and you also throw in the other factors of when he does go out hiking to do his thing, to play on this planet, and to take items to protect him, to further his time on this planet so he can stay alive and he can do this and he can enjoy that. You throw it all together, including all the items, the tracking devices on the phone and stuff. It makes no sense for he would commit suicide. Do you see now? So yeah, I think it's a bit confusing. Sometimes I am shit at explaining, but I tried to make it clear. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. That's it for now. A fair bit's taken. So yeah, goodbye.